Howdy, my dudes. Got a fixing the build here. This one here is from Asdo, ASDO. I hope I said that right. This is a Minion Lich, a Witch Lich. Minion Mancer there with Storm Mages. It's actually pretty great. I'll have some uh, videos that he sent in playing right away. The clear is honestly pretty fantastic with the chain casting on the lightning spells. It's fairly survivable because you got the giant minion wall blocking any sort of aggro that you might get, and it's also got a really huge energy shield barrier. With that said, there's a few things in there that I've definitely noticed. The skeleton mages are great for clear, but they were lagging behind him a little bit. One thing I would definitely like to see is potentially putting blink on your bars so that you can move them a little bit faster, but that is a big spirit cost. But one thing I also noticed on your skills, you only had 8 things in there. So you had uh, Storm Mages, Frost Mages, Conductivity, Pain Offering, Voltaic Mark, Skeletal Cleric, Storm Mage again, then Convalescence. Skeletal Warrior comes from the Scepter, Sigil of Power from the Staff, and again, those are the same. So you've got an extra slot to put Blink in that you could even have just on your weapon swap. It's not showing on here, but you do have a staff weapon swap with Sigil of Power on it. So I feel like that would slot in very well. With that said, though, if you're weapon swapping, you're dropping the minions, then if you come back on, it's popping back up. So it might be a little counterintuitive, but it would also be nice just to give you some mobility in maps. Now, on top of that, before I get into anything, I see that you got only 33% increased spirit on your scepter. It's unfortunate how expensive this will be to upgrade. It will do you wonders if you can get more spirit. I know we talked about it after I sent the notes for this, but like getting more spirit will be massive. It's just very unfortunate how expensive it will be. Same thing with getting +4 level to minion skills. Yeah, people are wanting a mirror for a really good scepter. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why people are charging that much for a build that's hardly getting used. I guess people who have minions are known for being rich. That's about all I can really notice. Other outside of kind of gear and skill wise, uh, well, I mean, I guess it is a skill. I'm noticing that you're hard casting Voltaic Mark. It is using a little bit too much mana for you right now. You don't seem to have mana sources regenerating fast enough, and so with the way that I guess I can't see it right here. The way that the Lich works with Necromantic Conduit, if you're on low mana, you are not getting Unholy Might for your minion, so you should watch out for that. Casting Voltaic Mark would actually be losing you damage if you can't keep that mana sustain up. Now, I do have kind of an idea of like potentially dropping Eternal Life and Soulless Form so you can come down for Blackened Heart to give you more magnitude of your Unholy Might, but it's only going to give you a little bit more damage unless you really focus into mana stacking. And then you would have to also get Mind Over Matter, which would also axe how much mana regen you get. So I don't think that's actually the way you'd want to go. Like, yeah, you could get Rupture the Soul for some chance to explode, but you have Fine, Clear, and Mapping. Your issue is single target with bossing. And so having your Soulless Form Eternal Life will actually be really nice for survivability, and it might help you out more in the long term than a little bit of damage from Blackened Heart. So I'm going to kind of drop that idea that I had in there. I just wanted to make note that I definitely thought of it, but the way that you're getting 10% less damage taken just from the Soulless Form, plus another 5% less damage taken from, I believe it's this node, yeah, right here, Heavy Buffer. 5% of damage taken bypasses Energy Shield, so just taking 15% less damage is always going to be massive, especially with your very large Energy Shield pool. Now, let's start this off right. Let's go into your skills or your gear. Obviously, spoke about it already. This year is an incredibly good scepter. It would be really nice to get +4 to minion skills and a higher percent increased spirit. But if you're looking to get something with like cast speed and critical damage bonus and increased damage as well, well, you are basically going to be putting an entire league's worth of economy into one item, and it's ridiculous. Just if you can improve it for sure, it'll do a lot. It's so expensive. The shield or the buckler here, it's obviously fantastic. It's like the only buckler worth using, and you're not even using it for parry, which is actually pretty funny. uh, on top of that, like you got the +3 to all lightning skills, so that is boosting your minions. Wonderful. This is like the best minion staff you can get. And yeah, you do have the Sigil of Power staff on, even if it's not showing on there. You've got the plus levels on it, so I'm really happy with it. Now your body armor, it's pretty great. It's got flat energy shield plus percent energy shield plus big spirit. It's unfortunately got crappy suffixes, and it could be a lot higher energy shield. Like it's only, this is saying 650. I think that's wrong. But with getting the plus spirit on it, it's going to be lower for sure than another chest piece that's just focusing on energy shield. But if you could improve this a little bit, it might help you a lot, because I know you're saying that you're having attribute requirement issues. If you could get a flat int roll on this, any sorts of flat decks you have on your tree, you could convert that way, and it would take off the pressure that you have on your rings, because you're really focusing on your attributes on your rings, which is unfortunate. If you could, I mean, these gloves are perfect for it. If you could maybe have it somewhere else that you didn't need to worry about it too much, it would be very helpful. You've got some pretty good suffixes on all of these. Honestly, it's going to be really difficult, but we'll talk about the rings going forward. Your amulet is nice with the spirit and all that, but it really needs plus to minion skills. You can get +2 minion skills on your amulet, and that is honestly huge. Yeah, I feel like that is, or sorry, it can go up to +3 minion skills. It's 2 on the helmet, and you have 2 on the helmet. This is a great helmet. It's a lower level base, I'm pretty sure, but oh well. You've got the max mana on it, which would be helpful. You got huge rarity, which I definitely assume is best in slot for a mapping focus build, so that makes a lot of sense. Your boots here, these things are incredible. 35% move speed, big energy shield, rarity, chaos res, another res. Like, yeah, obviously you could try to whittle off that stun threshold if these aren't corrupted. But these are very nice boots. I'm not too sure what level of a roll that stun threshold is. You might be hitting the chaos, so don't jump on that right away. But if you could hit like int or a third res on there, that would help you out greatly, especially considering like the belt, you have a nice belt with big chaos res, cold res. You could hit a lot higher max life on there. You could get some max mana on it. You could hit a third res, and belts are honestly pretty cheap right now. You could be looking for an ingenuity to pump your rings even more, but again, we'll get to the rings in a bit. Your gloves are definitely lacking a little bit. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're lacking as much as they are. They got good suffixes, but a low life roll, but you don't really care about life, honestly. You're just caring about the big energy shield. You got 2 good energy shield rolls on it. That actually, I might be seeing that wrong. That might be the max life percent energy shield, and if that's the case, then never mind, these are perfect gloves. They're 236 energy shield, which seems nice. I can't remember how high gloves can roll. Obviously, things like flat damage do nothing for you because you got minion stuff, so attack speed, cast speed, all that's kind of worthless. So yeah, it's good that you got these just as stat sticks. I like it quite a bit. Now your rings are really nice. Obviously, you got the 3 good suffixes plus rarity in a prefix, because essentially all the other prefixes don't matter, they're worthless. So like the 20 max life and the 6 to 11 cold damage to attacks is just dead, and the other mods on here are just dead. The best thing you can get in here by a lot is a Venter's Ring, because if you get a really good Venter's Ring, which is going to be expensive, it's increased rarity, it's triple res, it's spirit, and it's also got like life and some other stuff in there. I can't remember exactly what, but I think it's like a 7 mod ring. It's going to be stupidly expensive. I know you found some ridiculously good Venter rings for a div, but they were reduced rarity, and I don't think you want that. But yeah, getting Venters with Spirit will, again, just like the Scepter, help you out greatly, a lot more than what these are doing. But it's going to be hard to figure out your attributes uh, if you take these off, because obviously uh, you're going to need to pump, like, you'd get the resistances from the Venters. Then you'd have to take the resistances off something else and put attributes on the gear elsewhere. So your gloves and boots are actually pretty great, and so it'd suck to have to swap those out just to get damn attributes on. And then yeah, your amulet, again, that could be a really easy source of getting more attributes, because you can get like a 22 all attributes on there, which would be massive for you, like really massive. Then you could also, because that 26 strength, you could just drop that entirely, because you'd get the all attributes. The cast speed is doing basically nothing for you. So getting 46 spirit, let's say 22 all attributes, and what was the other thing I said? Two or three minion skill levels. That would be huge. The maximum energy shield is wonderful. Percent maximum energy shield on top of it would be wonderful, or more rarity if you want that. Unfortunately, the increased spell damage, the only thing you're really getting from that increased spell damage is a little more effective your voltaic mark, but you're not taking advantage of that quite yet. But we'll fix that a little bit. And now for your jewels, I like the silver charm, but only really the unique one that gives you onslaught, but even then not so much on a minion build. I don't really think you need this. Thawing charm is always wonderful, and the stone charm never really does anything. And I don't know if the gold charm will actually work for a minion build, so I'm not going to recommend that either. But I definitely recommend getting the chaos charm just to cap your res whenever you get hit by something. It'll help you out quite a bit. Definitely will do more than what the stone charm would do. And like, yeah, keep the silver charm just so you don't get slowed as much, but this doesn't help you out in something like a temp chains maps, that's for sure. Now for your jewels, this one's actually pretty decent, because it's got double minion plus energy shield recharge rate plus cannot be blinded. But you're not too worried about blinded, because one, you don't really have evasion, so that's not helping you there, and you're not attacking, so not a big deal. And you don't really care about the shock duration, because you got so many shocking minions that it's a non-issue. That energy shield recharge rate, I know you're really pumping into it with other stuff because you like Covalescence, but I 100% think you should be putting a lot more focus onto just straight energy shield, because you can think of this one as like a 2.5 mod jewel with the minions and the energy shield recharge rate. Now with this one here, you got the minion damage. Unfortunately, the magnitude of damaging elements doesn't do anything, because one, it's damaging ailments, not non-damaging. You're not worrying about burns or anything like that. So this doesn't affect shock at all. Plus, even if it did affect shock, it doesn't help you, because it's ailments that you inflict, not your minions inflict. So this one here is only a 2 mod jewel. And again, you don't have increased energy shield on there, which would help you out greatly with your survivability. I feel like that is probably the first place for you to start looking for things. And you could also get corrupted resistances, fire, lightning, cold, or even chaos can be corrupted on these things. And it would, again, take off pressure for needing to find other pieces of gear with resistances on it, depending on if you do get some decent Venters with maybe some corrupted attributes or resistances on your jewels. It might make it actually possible for you to gear that way, especially if you get the all attributes amulet. I really do think that's the way for you to go there. And now finally this last one. This one's actually really nice with increased area of effect, cast speed, minion damage, all that. This one's probably your best one because of the fact that it will work with your curses and work with casting everything else. So this one isn't as bad. Again, I wish you had some energy shield. You do have another jewel here that... just 1 second, Pablo. Don't go bumping everything again, kitty. There we go. You do have this jewel here that you're putting into your crystalline phylactery slot. It is definitely your best jewel with the double minion damage with attack speed, cast speed, damage, and then giving you energy shield and mana regenerate. That is great. Nothing wrong with this jewel at all. I wish that you had one with a positive corruption in there, preferably an attribute or res again, so that that one could also be doubled. So if you got like 5 dex or 5 int, that would be another 10 int on your build. Again, a huge thing for you to not have to worry about gearing, because I know, again, like you're saying, the hardest issue for you is finding the attributes for your gear, and I'm just trying to help you squeeze it out any way as possible. Now, we will continue on to your skills here. I'm not the most familiar with minion skills, but I definitely came up with a decent list of support gems that you weren't using. So one that you definitely could be having is like reach, and the only one that it fits on is voltaic mark. That will just give it a 35% increased area of effect, which is nuts. Then there's also Innervate that you could have on Voltaic Mark, but that one will only buff Voltaic Mark itself. So when it pops, if you have it, the next pop it does will do 35% more damage, which will help shock and give more electric damage. I don't think it works towards your minions, but it is something that you could put in there. It's like a decent little feedback loop. You could put in Overabundance in here as well, so you get multiple marks out at once, but then that might be too mana hungry. You also have the ability to use Minion Pact in any of your skills that you cast yourself. It will essentially take out 1 minion, but then do a lot more damage. Again, probably just Voltaic Mark for that one. But then there's also like Considered Casting, which would be big extra damage boost for a longer casting time. And then you could also potentially put in something like Arcane Surge onto here because it's hemorrhaging so much mana. That I don't think will actually work for you, though, now that I think of it, because of Soulless Form with the no inherent mana regeneration. I don't know if that will work with the regenerate mana equal to 6% of maximum life per second. That is something that I can't test, and I do not know, but it is a possibility. Okay, so now going back up to the top here, I'm just going to kind of go through my list. I like your Sigil of Power and Skeletal Warriors. There's a little bit maybe that will come up, but first things first, the Covalescence. You got the Persistence on here, which is great. I didn't even know about this support gen upwelling. It fits perfect with Covalescent, and then you got Second Wind on there, so you can cast it twice if you needed it to. The question I have is with Persistence, if Covalescence actually needs that extra duration, because I'm assuming that because Covalescence ends as soon as you get to maximum energy shield, if you didn't have Persistence, it would bring you up to max energy shield anyways. And then you can put Persistence onto Sigil of Power, which would make that last longer, which would boost damage uptime a little bit. It's entirely up to you which one feels better. There's no wrong answer there. They both seem pretty great. I don't have really an issue with it at all. Now with here for your Shock Bot one, this here is your bossing entirely for lightning exposure with all of this jazz. It's using Controlled Destruction, which when I checked it out in Path of Building earlier, actually lowered your damage. So I feel like you would be better off literally dropping Controlled Destructions. There we go. I'm scrolling it down so I'm not covering it with my head right now. I apologize if I covered other things with my head, but I do like that you have overcharge on there because it doesn't really matter if your minions are shocking themselves for increased shock effect. They don't need that protection. Conduction's a great idea. Lightning exposure, great idea. Strip away so that it makes the exposure even better is great. I just think dropped controlled destruction for sure. That is your number one thing that you should probably be doing. Uh, I'm not able to see what crit chance it has, but I do know that Path Building said it was worse. Now for your Skeletal Cleric, it makes great sense for you to have Ingenuity on there because that way, obviously, it just keeps reviving. I know when I tried Skeletal Clerics last league, Last Grasp kind of stopped it from working because they weren't reviving each other until basically they were all dead. Uh, with that said, though, you have a lot larger of a minion armory than me, so Last Grasp is actually probably doing really good work for you. Elemental Army is just a nice defensive thing to put in there. I don't know if there's really anything else that you could slot in. Again, I'm not the most accustomed to minion builds, but if you could slot in any other sort of gems there, it would help you out greatly. They don't need damage. They literally just need cast speed and cooldown. So you're on the right track with Ingenuity for sure. Voltaic Mark. This one here, obviously, I was talking about it earlier. Put in Reach, probably Overabundance. You don't need Coursing Currents at all. It's doing pretty much nothing for you because it's already shocking in an AoE. Anything that it hits is shocked, and giving it a small extra area around it does not matter because, well, odds are the thing you're shocking is not at the very tippy edge of the AoE as it is. Just drop Shocking Currents, so like Reach, Overabundance, Minion Pack, Considered Casting, potentially Arcane Surge are all the things that I saw at my first look that would be a big help. I am sure that there's other skills that you could put in there as well. Innervate, obviously. But that is entirely for you to decide for yourself. Your Pain Offering, I was thinking Font of Rage would be a no-brainer in there, but like you were saying, that apparently Font of Rage does not work with minions, unfortunately. I find that to be a ridiculous glitch and needs to be fixed, but as it stands, yeah, that is really the only thing that is an issue. Another one, though, I didn't notice this right away. I think Meat Shield should probably go into your Skeletal Clerics. They need to survive. They're the ones that are keeping your army up. So I think Meat Shield on Clerics over Pain Offering would be a nice help. Conductivity, it's Heightened Curse, Hexbloom, Inspiration. I really like Hexbloom. I think it's a really underrated support. I use it a lot in Path of Exile 1. It's not spreading as much in 2, but if it's working for you, then amazing. But if it is having a issue spreading for you in maps, you could swap it with like Cursed Ground for sure. So that way it's just a big AoE that constantly has curse for you. But other things that are kind of really interesting that you could try is Burning Inscription, which would give you Burning Ground, which could allow you to do things like get Fiery Death support on some skills, which would be incredible for you. Well, you'd put Fiery Death on Conductivity because it doesn't need that skill to kill a monster. It just needs that skill to be doing the fire damage that ignites a monster. When they die, they explode, dealing a portion of their life and everything around it. I think it might feel really great. I don't know 100% if that synergy will work, but I think it might. And I think you would like it if it does. And then on top of that, Burning Inscription, Fiery Death. There's also Focus Curse, which I think would be really important for you because it reduces the activation delay. You won't need something like Ritualistic Curse because you're rocking Hexbloom, and also Ritualistic Curse, even though it increases the AoE, does also increase the delay for it to activate, which would be unfortunate. But if you did Cursed Ground, you'd want Ritualistic Curse because then it has a bigger AoE, and I don't believe it has a activation delay, just like how when it's on Blasphemy it doesn't have an activation delay. But it would make it so that Burning Inscription does not trigger very well. It's a kind of double-edged sword that way. And now you got your Frost Mages, you got Bidding, Spell Echo, and Cold Mastery. You have Bidding on there, saying that significantly more damage from your command skills, but you are not using the commandment support, which I believe makes the cooldown a lot faster. You definitely should put that in there, and you should also probably get cold penetration support on there. That makes a lot of sense, so that way you can get some chills and freezes off. Just make your skeletal mages a lot better. And now finally, your skeletal storm mages, you got Lightning Pen, Arcane Tempo, Feeding Frenzy, Muster, and Minion Mastery. I think this is very well set up. You have your build set up very well. You're taking great advantage of Muster by having the Warrior Minions, the Skeletal Storm Mages, the Frost Mages, and the Clerics, and even the Pain Offering all count towards it. So it is a lot of damage sources that are well balanced towards using Muster. I think you have your Storms Mages set up very, very well. Now on your tree here, you do have weapon swaps 1 and 2 actually set up very, very well. Your weapon swap 1 is set for minion damage and just everything minions and damage, and your weapon swap 2 is like area of effect and skill effect duration. This is a very good idea, so that way whenever you drop your weapon swap 2 Covalescent, it lasts longer. It gives you the energy shield recharge rate all the time. It makes your Sigil of Power last longer, and any curses you might be using last longer. I really like that setup. I don't really have too much of an issue with this, other than just like you got the pathing over here, but I feel like you should probably grab Entropic Incarnation. I don't think you'll get any damage as extra chaos, because I don't believe your minions are really doing any substantial amount of physical damage, but giving them some chaos res might be pretty nice for you. And then Dead Can Dance obviously seems kind of worthless, but these minion crit damage nodes seem pretty decent for you, because it's not like you have too much crit damage on your minions elsewhere, and I think that would be pretty nice for you. Some nodes that I think you could drop are like these 2 energy shield recharge rate nodes by your dependable ward. I feel like you kind of went really overkill on energy shield recharge rate, and this would help you out a lot. You could... Oh no, these are increased spirit. You wouldn't want to drop that. Maybe dropping a little bit of presence area of effect, but no, you wouldn't want to drop that either, because you're using the presence area on your scepter. So no, you're right to take all of those skills for sure. I don't think there's really anything else on this tree. You've got it really well set up. You're getting all the points you need. Like, you got this random couple of extra maximum energy shield here. If you're willing to come all the way down, not all the way down, you're getting this big energy shield. But if you're willing to path for just energy shield anywhere else, really, why did that do that? I would say you should probably try to come up here for this enhanced barrier. You get one more attribute node, then these are all 15% max energy shield. Then you come up for a 25% increased max energy shield plus 1 to all max res. Unfortunately, on your res here, you didn't cap out your fire res. You have a maximum of 76% fire res, 77 if you got enhanced barrier. I hope that could get buffed a little bit. I mean, it's super minor, but it would feel better if you got that capped, especially if you went up towards enhanced barrier, 3% more fire res. And as you get higher and higher levels are worth so much more. So I do think that is a very small thing to look into, probably from like a jewel corrupt perhaps. But overall, I think you did this very well. Like, obviously, you don't need to worry about getting a proper mana flask with increased max charges. Not a proper mana flask, but a flask with increased max charges, because no skills you use will be able to use Ambrosia. But you could probably find one with, instead of gain 0.2 charges per second, because that's basically useless. You could get probably the removes mana recovered from life when used is actually a fantastic node that you get, because you're not able to remove from life because of your eternal life. I like that a lot. But I wish your suffix down there was like gain charges on kill would be helpful, because you do seem to be having some mana issues while mapping. And then with your life flask, you obviously don't even worry about it. You're not even getting eternal youth because it's so far out of the way. So the life flask is basically useless. I guess you could get the unique one to give you some guard, which would give your life flask some use, but then it would also give you another button to press. So that's entirely up to you. Either way, I do really like how this build looks. I like how smooth those skeletal storm mages were. I just feel like there's definitely single target missing, which would be helped with a few support gems mixing around, plus obviously getting more spirit for more minions will help a lot. Getting a few more minion levels will help a lot. But unfortunately, minion builds are super expensive, and yeah, it's going to be painful to try and upgrade that, but you've put together something pretty fun, pretty aesthetically pretty as well. So I like this one quite a bit. Thank you again, Isoto, for putting everything together. I hope that my comments are able to help you out a bit. I hope that you're able to find a few upgrades that aren't stupidly expensive. I hope you're able to get some Venter rings that have good all stats and don't crush your build, and I hope you can get a really good amulet too. Also allocates quick response. I'm not even 100% which one quick response is, but it doesn't seem like it would be the best anoint for you. I feel like I should have looked that one up beforehand. That one I just saw at the end. But either way, that is one other thing that you could look at. Potentially there's a better anoint than quick response, but as it is, I do think that you did a really good job putting this together, and I really enjoyed going through this. I learned a lot, and thank you again for sending it in. Hopefully you can get that energy shield up too, but again, thank you. You have a great day, and if this is entirely wrong, be free to call me out on it, but I think these will help you out greatly. Alrighty. See you again, and thanks again, Isoto, or Asdo.